Well, it's time for another birthday. This one is one of my brothers, Joshua, who is, I don't know how old. I don't know, 30 something. 36 maybe? 34, something like that. Probably 36. But anyway, um, Joshua is in the process of moving from Japan to New York, so he's probably not going to see this. I haven't really been thinking about it all day, although I've put a lot of work into preparing and planning it. Um, but I have a couple of stories about Joshua that are. This song kind of compresses several different events which did not happen all at the same time, but they make for a good song. So don't ever let the story get in the facts, I should say, get in the way of the story, because if you rely just on facts, you would never have a good story. Um, Three of my favorite stories about Josh. Story number one: Joshua, when he was living down here in Houston, uh, took kung fu classes from a kung fu master. And after every class, we'd pick him up from the kung fu clinic or kung fu club, and he would get a shake at this smoothie place, which he thought was a very healthy thing to do. But it turned out they were using a full pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream in each shake. So he was eating 2,000 calories in every shake, which was funny. He had to be there. Story number two: after he moved back up to Buffalo, he was homesick for Houston, and Robert Earl Keen, one of the great singer-songwriters in Texas history, was performing at a little club in downtown Buffalo called the Tralfamadore Cafe, and Joshua was like one of four people who went to see him. And I'll never forget that. I'm always forever eternally grateful to Robert Earl Keen, because he and his band played their hearts out for a handful of people, and one of those people was my brother, who was very homesick for Texas, and it was kind of a gift to him. So Robert Earl doesn't know that, but I am very grateful to him. Third thing is, after he moved back to Houston briefly before he went to law school, Joshua bought this kanji book. It was a book of Japanese characters, and he treated it like it was the Shroud of Turin. He was very, very careful. And he was here at my office, and I had a guy working for me, still do, named Raimundo. Now, Raimundo speaks some version of Spanish that nobody else in the world speaks. I speak Spanish. I can't understand a word the guy says. This is Raimundo. And I just go, oh, sí, está bien. And next thing I know, he's wheeling out my pressure washer because I've just promised him that he could have it. Raimundo's, you just can't understand him. He's a great guy, but he's completely unintelligible. And he came in, and Joshua is studying this book, and if I remember right, Joshua wore white gloves when he was handling it because the book was so precious to him. And it was a typical pouring down, horrible, rainy Houston day, and Raimundo came in and leaned over Joshua's shoulder and went, Japonés, and put his big old hand on that book and forever tainted it. And I thought Joshua was going to cry. So, birthday song for Joshua. Another thing you need to know about Joshua is that after our father died, I basically quit going to school because my mom was working, and I stayed at home, and Joshua and I hung out. He was 2, and I was 17, and I'd skip school a lot to help take care of him because my mom was either taking care of my dad before his death or working after his death, and she couldn't afford childcare. And so, anyway, all of that is in this song, which is sung to the tune of Robert Earl Keen's great song, Think It Over One Time. So here we go. Again, no instrument, a cappella, bravest thing you can do in the world. Sing a cappella. It shows you have confidence in your voice. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. When you was just a kid, I'd help take care of you. We'd watch TV and eat cereal and listen to records too. And then I moved away, ended up in Houston town. I called you up, I said I thought that maybe you should come on down. You were here about a year, you had a lot of fun. You even learned to do kung fu. You got yourself a big old kanji book. Raimundo said he wanted to take a look. He got muddy fingerprints all over it, and that made you really sad. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Josh.